Hello, everyone, and welcome finally back to another episode of Let's Talk Animals. This series I absolutely love doing, but I have had to put it on hiatus for so long for different reasons, but I'm so glad that it is finally back. Um, and I can bring you some information and about a species that I've learnt a lot about in the last couple of weeks. Um, but yeah, I thank you for coming out. Let's have a quick look. We have Archangel K, who is absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much for being here. We have Inspirational Failure as well. We also have Silver Century. We have Dragon Dance, and we have Alexander as well. So thank you all for coming out today. I hope you are ready to learn about a pretty interesting species. Some of you may know what it is, some of you may not. It is the pangolin, which you may be able to see there, and I will pop it up right there. Look at this adorable little creature right there on the screen. Nope, that's the wrong one there. So, the pangolin, very, very odd animal, is some of you may be aware that looks very much like a sand shrew, which was one of my hints that as to what species I was doing. Um, but yes, the pangolin. The one thing I learnt about this species is there are actually 8 different species of pangolins out there. There are 4 that live in Africa, and there are 4 that live in Asia. Also, whilst I am going through the information that I have got here, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. If I can't answer them, I will look them up right away so that I can sort that out. If you are watching this after the fact and you do have other questions, pop them in the comment section down below, and I will do my best to get to those and answer them as well. So, other things to quickly mention, and I'll pop these in. If you are wishing to submit a species to be if you are wishing to submit a species to be included in this series, you can head to my Discord there, or you can pop it in the chat. And there is a spot in the Discord for a Let's Talk Animals suggestions. Alright, so as I mentioned, there are 4 species of pangolin that live in Africa. They are the black-bellied pangolin, the white-bellied pangolin, the giant ground pangolin, and the Temminck's ground pangolin. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to just get those 4 and pop them in the chat as well, so you guys can see the different ones there. And I've also got the scientific names, which I am not going through because they are very complex as usual. And then we have the 4 species of Asian pangolins, being the Indian pangolin, the Philippine, the Sunda, and the Chinese. And once again, I'm going to pop those in there in the chat with their scientific names, so you can have a look at them as well. Now, again, depending on the depending on the species, there are different sizes of pangolins. They sort of range from around 1.6 kilos, which is around 3.5 pounds, up to 33 kilos, which is around 73 pounds. So quite a range there depending on the species and the location as well. And in terms of the length, they range from around 30 centimeters to around 90 centimeters, so around 1 to 3 feet long. Hey, welcome on out, Keegan. How are you doing? I know you are live as well, so yeah, I hope you're having a good stream. Now, pangolin comes from the Malayan word pangulung, which again, just so that I can, I'm going to quickly pop that one in the chat as well, so you can have a look at that. So pangolin, so that is a Malayan word, and that's where they get their name, and it means to roll, basically roller or curl. It's basically the action that they do to roll into a ball is where they get their name from. Oh, okay, Keegan, no problem. Now, as I mentioned, when the pangolin is under threat, it will curl itself up into a ball. And if you bear with me for one quick moment, we are going to... Oop, I need to... There we are. So that is a... I feel like my things are not focused again. What is going... Ah, it must be on my side. There we go. Sorry about that. So as you can see in that little image, that is a pangolin who is protecting itself. It has curled itself up into a ball using that armor plating, which I'll mention a little bit later, as a bit of a shield. And so by doing this, they do protect their underbelly, which is just, their underbelly is not scaled. And also the side of their face is also not scaled. So those are areas which can be very easily attacked and damaged. So by having that scales wrapping around, it means that they're protecting this their weak point. The plating is made up of the scales which are formed from keratin. So if you look down at your fingernails and you feel your hair, it is the same. The scales of a pangolin are the same material that make up your fingernails and hair. So that's, I always find that rather interesting fact there. Now, another thing about the pangolin is, as much as it has those scales, it is not classified as a reptile. It is in fact a mammal. So a lot of people think that because it's got the scales, it's a reptile, but it is in fact a mammal. I don't remember if it's... are they related to the armadillo? I did see something that it was believed that they were. I'll just double check that one quickly. They're different family groups. So what is the difference? I'll quickly get this up to answer that question. The main difference between the pangolin and the armadillo is the pangolin is in the order of mammals, whereas an armadillo is in a family of mammals. So if you, this is probably going back a bit for some of you, but kingdom, phylum, class, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, it's not genre, and then the last one is species. So those are the different levels of a species. So the pangolin is in the order of mammals, whereas the armadillo is in a family. So there are differences between them, if that made any sense to people at all there. There. Hey. Welcome out, Major Dong, as well. Welcome out to the stream. Back here. So another thing about those scales that the pangolin has to protect itself, they can actually make up to 15% of a total weight for a pangolin. So they are quite large, they are quite heavy as well. And it is, by rolling up into that ball, it does protect them from the potential dangers being things like lions, hyenas, and leopards and things like that, which would 100% try and eat a pangolin. Now, another thing that I didn't know about the pangolin before doing this was the fact that they have another form of protecting themselves, and it is, in fact, near their backside, they have a scent gland. Now, this scent gland has two main functions. One is to outline its territory. So they are a solitary animal, so they don't like being like really interacting with others. So they mark out their own zone by scenting on the ground, so leaving a pathway of their smell basically. Um, but when they are under threat, they do also secrete this smell, which is quite strong, quite pungent, and that helps to get rid of any predators that may want to go for them. So it's something similar to what a skunk uses as well. Um, Now, the pangolin is a nocturnal species. So once again, they are a species that comes out during the nighttime to look for food and stuff, and they sleep during the day. And they are a very shy-natured creature. So scientists have been trying to study the pangolin for years, but because of their nocturnal nature and how shy they are and how hard they are to find, there really isn't a lot of research that has been done on them, and there's not really a lot known. So there's still lots more that scientists need to figure out about the pangolin. And yeah, by doing my research on this species, I did find that it was very hard to find any information, which is also why it did take me so long to bring out this episode. As I mentioned, they are a solitary animal. Hey, Ace Gaming, welcome out to the stream. How are you doing? So they are a solitary animal, so they do like to live on their own. And they're more suited to living a life in like a sandy or a very light dirt sort of environment. Because they love, or they basically dig holes to help protect themselves. They make their homes near a water source, because even though they do travel a little bit, their two main needs are food and water. So they need to make sure that they live near a water source. One thing I didn't know was that they actually do climb trees, and it's not mentioned up there, but there is a species, I think it's, let me just have a quick look. So the African white-bellied pangolin is also known as the tree pangolin. So they actually live in, they can climb trees, they live and hunt in trees as well, which is something that I didn't know. And I think this is sort of a little bit unknown as well, but pangolins can actually swim. Not great at swimming, but they can actually swim. So that's another fun little fact there. How am I doing? I am doing really well. I had a bit of a slow morning as well. Won't go into it too much, but I'm having a really good day, loving life, and yeah, I love the fact that I can bring you guys some more amazing animal facts. Yeah, sort of like hedgehogs. They can swim. They're not fantastic swimmers, but they can swim. Now, we're going to move on to this part here. So, the pangolin is also referred to as the scaly anteater. Now, I'm going to jump over to here. Let's go to this one here. So they are also known as the scaly anteater. Now, this is basically due to the fact that they eat ants. And I need to move this picture. There we go. Now, like a lot of different species out there, they have special means of being able to eat ants. One being that tongue that you can see right there in that image. Their tongues can actually grow, I think it was up to like 16 inches. So very long tongues. And they actually do not have any teeth. So inside their mouth there are no teeth, so they basically just have that tongue, which they use to stick down into an ant's nest. It is long and sticky. And so the ants get stuck to the tongue, then they slurp it back up, and they're able to eat the ants and the termites. Hey, Annalise, welcome out to the stream. How are you doing today, Annalise? We are here talking about the adorable pangolin. Now, what do you guys think? What happens if they cannot actually reach the ants or the termites with their tongue? pop in the chat there what you reckon they will do, whilst I jump to the next picture that I've got here. Because this, I think, is a better one to show off that tongue, and it is a very large image. Should have checked all these. We go like this, and we'll cover me up a little bit. There we go. Alright. So what do they use? They use their claws, yeah. So they have some really sharp claws, which is perfectly designed for digging in and breaking down the termites' nest and the ants' nest, that more solid dirt. They're really good at that. And then they basically have free access to what's inside. Very, very cool. And again, they use those claws for digging their own dens and their own burrows to keep themselves safe as well. And yeah, as I mentioned, their tongues can sometimes reach lengths that are longer than their bodies, which is a bit of a weird thing to think about. Yeah. Okay. So, in terms of breeding for pangolins, it is completely dependent on the females. The males will live their life, be happy to live a solitary life, but when the female is ready to breed, she will actually go in search of males. And again, the pangolins, they mark their areas with their scent, so the females know when they're entering into another pangolin's territory by the scent that is around. Excuse me one moment, guys. I just have a quick drink. I appreciate you staying up and watching this, Annalise. I know it is quite late there. Thank you for that. That is all good, Kay. That is perfectly fine. Life has to keep going even though streams happen. So feel free to do whatever you guys need to do during this. So yeah, as I mentioned, it is the females who go in search of the males in order to breed. And they will just wander around until they find a male that they're happy to breed with. They do only reproduce once a year. And they will give birth to a single baby. Now, does anyone know what a baby pangolin is called? It's a very cute name. It's something that I didn't know before looking this up. But yeah, baby pangolins, very interesting name. But it does make a little bit of sense as well. Whilst I'm waiting for these answers, I will continue. The female has a gestation period of about 5 months. So she's only pregnant for 5 months after she has bred with a male. It's not a pog. And yes, I do. Let me have a quick change up of image. There we go. I'm just going to shrink that a little bit. There we go. So a baby pangolin is called a pango pup. The full name, so pango pup, which I find absolutely adorable. And as you can see, they're very, very cute. So once the female has given birth after about 5 months, the baby is about 15 centimeters or 6 inches long and weighs around 340 grams, which is about 12 ounces. So they're very, very tiny. Now, those babies, as you can see by that image, will ride on the mother's back or on the base of her tail there, so that they can basically, as she's wandering around finding food for herself, they can stay nice and safe at the same time. And If there is any sort of danger nearby, what the mother will do is she will still curl up into a ball, but she'll pop the baby inside near where her belly is, and she will curl up around that baby. So her main focus is keeping that baby safe, even if it does expose part of her a little bit to make sure that that baby's safe. So she does make sure that her priority is on her baby. But they are absolutely adorable animals, the little ones, and as you can see, they're very happy to just ride, have a bit of a ride there. Now, the babies will drink milk from the mother for about 3 or 4 months before they are weaned off the mother and start looking for insects. Um, but they will remain with their mother until they're around 2 years of age, which is also when they reach maturity. Yes, it definitely is. Like these are true creatures of showing how powerful the bonds of motherhood can be. And I'm just going to have a quick look at something. Baby pangolin. So, I'm going to grab another image up now. Just give me 1 second. And I'm going to grab, yeah. So yeah, they are absolutely adorable little creatures. And let me get this image up as well. That one. Let me enlarge that. So you can see that they are absolutely tiny when they're born. Very, very cute. But the mother is very, very patient because by this next one that I'm going to show you, so yeah, I'm going to leave it at that for a quick moment. So as I mentioned, they are very, very hard to sort of find creatures. They're not really that well known in, they they're not that well known in zoos and captive facilities like that. So they are mostly wild, and there's not a lot of studies that have actually been able to be done because of the nature of the pangolins being so shy, being nocturnal, living in burrows, things like that. But there is lots more research that is going on. Over the last few weeks, when I've known that I was doing this as my next episode for quite some time, I've been doing some research on these and this species to try and make sure that the information I'm bringing to you is as accurate as I possibly can make it. So yes, I've been doing a lot of research on them, internet research, not going out into the field or anything like that. Although I wish I could. So yeah, that's a tiny little one. And then if I go to here, and I can show you that the mother's very, very patient. Because as you can see here, that baby is quite large and still catching a ride on its mother. So as I mentioned earlier, people do believe that pangolins are in the reptile family purely because of those scaly armor plating that they have. But they are actually, in fact, a member of the mammals, and there's not many of them out there, but they're one of the few species of mammals that are covered in scales. Now, when I was doing my research, obviously there's 8 different species of pangolin, so I've got a little bit of a few little facts about some of the different ones. So the Philippine pangolin is completely endemic to the Philippines, and it inhabits 4 of the islands there. So very, very localized species. The Sunda pangolin has the history of being one of the most traded species, and I'll get onto that a little bit later. Um, excuse me. It also has darker brown scales on it, but it also can be found with the scales on its tail being white. So a very interesting combo there, the dark brown and the white. The Chinese pangolin digs burrows near termite mounds. Sorry guys, excuse me, just had a bit of a tickle in the throat. So yeah, the Chinese pangolin digs burrows near termite mounds, and that is because during the winter it is very, very cold. So in order to maintain their temperature, they spend a lot more time underground where it is a little bit warmer, and that way that when they come out, they can go to the termite mound and get food very, very easily. They don't have to travel as far in the cold to get to their food. So the tree pangolin, which I mentioned earlier, is also known as the African white-bellied pangolin, is the most frequently encountered pangolin in Africa. So they're found more commonly than others. The giant ground pangolin is the largest, hence the name, but it is also thought to be close to becoming extinct in Rwanda. So that's an absolute shame. And the long-tail pangolin holds the record for the most vertebrae amongst the mammals, and it averages 46 and 47 vertebrae, which is pretty interesting to have that many vertebrae in such a small animal. But I suppose it makes a little bit of sense with the way that they have to move their body. Hey, Mikey, welcome out. Mikey, look what you do to me. I lose my words when I see you in the chat. You guys are funny. I love you guys. Hey, Lexatron, welcome on out. And yeah, Dragon Dance, how are you? Live cat call, raid. King Pancro, or as well. And we also have Silent Fang. Yes, my reaction when I see Mikey in the chat is it's quite funny. And I did hear that. Give me one sec, guys. There's my alert. Chucky Martin. I completely butchered that. Chucky Martinez. Well, thank you for your subscribing there. And Becca, welcome on out. Sammy, the legend table flipping Sammy, welcome on out. Travis Stacey, welcome out as well. Alright, let us continue for now. Now, that's another sub there. Who was that one? That was... Let me have a look-see. Oh, my picture's going to block that one. I did not catch whoever that was. I apologize. The image blocked that. And I don't know who that was. So whoever did just sub them, please let me know in the chat, because my little image there blocked it, which means that I'm going to actually do this so that I don't block my alerts on the other side there now that I know that happens. But thank you very much for your subscription. I very much appreciate that. Becca, thank you so much. Have to go get some sleep. No worries, Annalise. Have a great rest of your night. Take it easy. No worries, Keegan. Have a fantastic stream, and I'll probably catch you over there at some stage. Alright, so the next bit of information I'm going to talk about is probably a bit of the negative stuff. Um, it's stuff that is really affecting the pangolins, and it's something that I didn't realize how bad it really was. Yeah, Zach, just pop. If you have a question, pop it in the chat there, and if I have a chance, I will answer them. So, one of the biggest issues that is facing the pangolin is the illegal trade that's going on. Now, all species of pangolin are protected. Every single one of the 8 species of pangolin is protected, um, but there is a lot of illegal trade that is happening out there with this species. Now, the main things is that they're being traded for is their meat and their scales. Now, in terms of their scales, they're not used for like protecting anything else. Their scales are used in like what's the right word? I don't want to. It's like um, original, like I think it's Asian herbal medicines. That is, I think that's the right way of phrasing it. To apologise to anyone if that is wrong. But yeah, there is belief that the the scales of a pangolin in certain medicines um, helps to protect against different diseases and things like that. So that is one big issue. The other is their meat. So it is quite a delicacy as much as it is an illegal delicacy in a lot of countries of pangolin meat. So those are the two main reasons why the pangolin is being traded illegally. And it has gotten so bad that it is now considered to be the most illegally traded species in the world. And that overtook the rhino, the horns of the rhino and the tusks of the elephant. So that is saying something major there. And it's also theorized that a pangolin is poached every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, a pangolin is poached, which really surprised me. That was something I did not anticipate. So that really took me by surprise that they are so so big, so poached. I'm just going to bring this one back up here. Now, does anyone... Guys, not having a great voice day at the moment by the sounds of it. Now, does anyone have any questions they want to ask on the pangolin? I've got a few more little points here that I'm going to mention, and then I'll do a quick recap whilst I wait for any questions. But does anyone have anything they want to ask about the pangolin? And whilst I do, what did you do on the... So I work at a zoo here in Tasmania, Zach. And so that's what I do. I have done a bit of field research and stuff with when I was doing my uni degree in 2000, between 2010 and 2014. I did a lot of field research stuff with my university degree. But then I found a love for zookeeping, and that is where I find my passion, the zookeeping side of things and the interaction with the people, and basically doing what I'm doing now and being able to pass information that I learn that I find absolutely fascinating with other people. Now, as I mentioned, all 8 species of pangolin are protected. Now, 3 of them have been moved onto the critically protected or critically endangered list. Those ones are the white-bellied and the giant ground pangolins of Africa and the Philippine pangolin of Asia. So what did I do at the zoo? So pretty a bit of everything. So I work with the animals. Excuse me. I do like animal talks. I did um, personalized guided tours. I did birthday party tours and run the birthday parties. So I did basically a little bit of everything, but I love the interaction with the public. Is one of my favorite things to do about animals. Are there pangolins in Australia's zoos part of breeding program or protection program? I didn't see any notes about that. Kay, there was not really. The only real mentions about that I saw about the being in captivity was that there wasn't a lot uh, known about them. But let me have a quick look. Um, it could possibly be. Give me one quick moment. I will have a look-see and see if. Um, but yeah, make sure you're popping in any questions. We're having a quick look through some notes here. Um, so there are places like Taronga Zoo that have got that that are partnered with support organisations for them. I don't know if there's really like breeding programs in Australia for it, but I think we have like that's just one of the zoos that I've quickly looked at. Hey, welcome out. We are getting a. My English is not working for me today. We are getting a turtle tactics or tortoise strategies raid. Welcome on out, guys. Please don't spam things in the chat, just so that I can make sure I'm not missing out on anything. We have Fiery Dragon. Thank you for your subscription, and Versian Looms as well. Thank you for your subscription. Very much appreciated. Let me have a quick look. We have Fiery Dragon. We have Dags Cooper. We have Dark Gamer. We have Turtle Tactics himself, which I need to do something. Here it is. And then we go here. And then we go here and go Turtle Tactics. So if you haven't already, make sure you go to that link that I've just popped there and go and sub to the man Turtle Tactics. He is a fantastic guy. Really, really great content there. Then we've got the Yoshi Craft. We have Versian Looms. We have Michael Omega. Thank you for joining in on the raid. I look like a white Markiplier. That's first time I've had that one, but thank you. We have King Tai Gaming. Welcome on out to the stream as well. I love you too, Turtle. Yes, let's see. The one thing I do want you all to do once is a row of turtle emotes. Get those turtle emotes for Turtle Tactics there. Yoshi, don't be disrespecting anyone here. I completely support what Dragon said. Don't spam like things like that in the chat. It just blocks up the chat. It means that I'll probably miss things and people are trying to ask questions. Citrus Lemon, welcome on out as well as part of the Turtle Raid. And Cody Coops, thank you all for being out. And yeah, thank you for spamming or popping those dragon or those turtle emotes in the chat there and supporting my man Turtle Tactics. All right. So let me quickly have a look back. So yeah, in terms of the pangolins, there are Australian zoos which are partnered with different organisations to support overseas endangered species, like the pangolin and a lot of others. So for those who have just come in, we are sort of running close to the end of the information. I'll quickly do a recap for anyone who has missed it. we are doing the pangolin, which is that adorable little creature you can see just beside my face there. There are 8 species of pangolin, 4 in Africa: the black-bellied, the white-bellied, the giant ground, and the Temminck's, which I cannot say, the Temminck's ground. Then there are the 4 in Asia: the Indian, the Philippine, the Sunda, and the Chinese. They range in sizes from about 1.6 to 33 kilos, which is around 3.5 to 73 pounds, and between 30 to 90 centimeters, which is 1 to 3 feet. They may look like a reptile with those scales, but they are in fact part of the mammals family group. Their name comes from the Malayan word pangolin, which basically means roller. Their armor plating is made up of keratin. Those scales are keratin, so same stuff as our fingernails and our hair. And those scales can weigh up to 15% of the total body weight of a pangolin. When threatened, they'll roll up into a ball, protecting their soft underbelly and exposing all of those sharp scales so that any predators can't really get to them. They also have a scent gland, which they use to mark their territory and to protect themselves if they're under attack. They release that quite pungent odor, and whatever is trying to eat them gets scared and runs away from them, or from the smell. They are a nocturnal species that love to live underground, and because of their shy nature and these reasons, they're not very well known. Not a lot of research has been able to be completed on them, and there is a lot of research still happening. They are a solitary animal, so they live on their own. They live in more sandy environments or light dirt where they can build dens very easily. There is one species, which is the white-bellied or the tree pangolin, which actually lives and hunts in trees. And they do have a little ability to swim a little bit as well. The females will reproduce once a year, giving birth to one single pango pup, which is the full name, pango pup of a baby, which the babies will live like they'll ride on mum's back, and if there is danger, she will curl up around that baby to protect it. They drink milk till about 3 months of age, but will remain with the mother until about 2 years of age when they reach sexual maturity. They are known as the scaly anteater, basically because they eat ants and termites. They have that long sticky tongue which they use to stick down into an ant's nest to get their food. If they can't reach it, they've got those giant claws which you can sort of see, which are perfectly designed for breaking up the hard dirt of a termite mound or an ant's nest as well. Their tongues can actually grow almost to the same length as their body. So very, very long tongues. As I mentioned, they look like a reptile, but they're part of the mammals group. And the biggest issue facing a pangolin is illegal trafficking and illegal trade. They are now known as the most illegally traded species in the world, overtaking the elephant tusks and the rhino horns for their meat and their scales, which are used for obviously feeding people, and herbal remedies as well. Just having a quick look at chat after that recap. I know I've gone through a lot of things very, very fast. Never heard of a pangolin. Yeah, as I said, they're not very well known, and that's another reason why I love doing this series, is because people are able to submit species to me. So if you would like to submit a species for me to potentially do in the future, you can head to the Discord, which is a link just popped up there. And there is a channel there which is Let's Talk Animal Suggestions. Now, if you are going to submit a species, please submit a specific one. I didn't realize that there were 8 different species of pangolins, but usually I would say, in this instance, don't just put pangolin, put white-bellied pangolin or something like that, so I can focus on one particular one, and then I can expand on the family group as well from there. If you are liking what you see, I do also have a Twitter account, which, if you are in my Discord or you follow me on Twitter, I will post things up when I'm going live and when I am not going live. So those are the two best ways to find me. They do look like they're similar but a little bit different to the armadillo. They are part of a different family group, so they're very similar but very different. I think the color of a lowland should potentially. But yeah, were there any? Did anyone else have any questions that they would like to submit for the moment? And whilst I am waiting for any other potential questions, I will just also talk a little bit about myself, because I do have quite a few people in here that are new. So my name is Jacob. Welcome to the stream. I hope you will enjoy your time here. I have been doing this for just under 2 months, I believe, and absolutely loving it. I do have a couple of other gaming series that are already on the channel, the main one being Pokemon Conquest. We have finished the game and we are working through the 33 post-game campaigns that are there and having an absolute blast doing that. I also have a Digimon World DS series that is on the channel as well, which I'm having a lot of fun doing. I do have a lot of other series in mind for the future, but it's just a matter of waiting for a bit of time because I do have a lot going on outside of this. I am currently back at work 2 days a week now, which for me, I'm in Australia, so it is my Wednesdays and Saturdays, so I will not be streaming on Wednesdays and Saturdays here in Australia. And I believe I am 14 hours ahead of American Eastern Standard Time, so that you can possibly do your own time zone differences from that. But yeah, I love being able to interact with people. I am a zookeeper, and this is just right up my alley, and I love doing it. And yeah, I think that I've loved everything that I've been able to get it through and be able to talk about, and all the games that I do. But yeah, I just love being able to interact with people, and yeah, we are a PG-13 channel, so I don't mind. I don't mind a little bit of swears. I personally don't swear myself, but please make sure that you are being respectful of everyone. This is a family-friendly channel, and I would like to keep it that way because I love the fact that everyone can be involved, everyone can be here, and things like that. So we are PG-13. So just keep that in mind. But I do want everyone to be themselves. But just keep those things in mind when they are here. And it doesn't look like there are any other questions. So sorry about those who have just arrived during that raid. I do appreciate you being here, and I do hope that you hit that like and sub buttons, get those notifications, because I am going to try and make this a weekly thing where I do these animal ones once a week. It just depends on the species that I'm going to be working on and how well I know it. This species, for instance, I knew very little beforehand, so it took me a little bit longer to bring it out because I wanted to make sure that I was bringing you accurate information, and I didn't want to just bring it out just for the sake of bringing it out. And I did have a lot of other stuff with my studies going at the same time. But yeah, keep an eye on Discord and keep an eye on Twitter for when I do go live. I do try and go live as often as I can. But yeah, we just have a lot of fun, and yeah, head over to the Discord if you want to have a great time. We are very, very open, very welcoming, and what we are going to do now, we are going to head on over and do a raid, and we are going to go here, and we are going to grab this link right here. So I hope you all hang around for the raid. We're going to go with the hashtag Smithy Animal Raid. So make sure you copy that hashtag right there, and we are going to go and raid my friend Mama Cat, who did a mid-stream raid on me earlier. We hit her with that. She is currently just on a Be Right Back screen. I just saw because I've got her up on here. So Mum and Cat, why would you do this to me? But we are going to still go ahead with that raid, and I will see you over there. Until next time, have an absolutely fantastic day or night, and leave any comments in the chat or in the comment section down below about what species you want to see if you see this after the fact. And until next time, take it easy. Bye.